New music.
New music. New music.
New music.
New music.
You heard it here first at the Gumbo Cafe.
Drop the beat on this joint.
This is the Gumbo Cafe
with your hosts, Shani and Dia.
What's up, everybody? Oh, my gosh. I mean, welcome to the Gumbo Cafe. Of course, everybody else is saying it's clear, but here on the back end, it's always something for us on the back end. I don't know what the Gumbo Cafe, 347-202-0388. We leaked, yes, we did, and I hope she ain't mad. We leaked a single by Lavina Line. We already got her here on the line. She has an album. It is finally coming out, Pieces of Me. Lavina, baby, how you doing, girl? We have been waiting for your album, your EP to drop.
Hello, how are you guys?
Wonderful. How are you doing, sister?
I'm good. I'm excited. My EP is about to finally come out, and I'm really looking forward to the feedback. So, awesome.
Awesome. Girl, you're so humble. I mean, that's why we like you here. She's like, yes, I made it to the top. No, it's not like that. She's like, I'm looking forward to the feedback. And let me tell you, Lavina, girl, that entire, I'm just, the people need to go out and buy it, seriously, because it really is Pieces of You. I mean, from Fall, Abandoned to Venom, and girl, like I told being original, your manager, I was like, you have taken lyrics back to where it needs to be, where the artist and the listener connect with each other in song, and I really do appreciate you doing that and taking the time to really think of what you want to put out there. So, you're doing some wonderful things, and I just can't wait for the listeners to get a hold of it.
I know. I'm really excited. I think it's really versatile. It's really different. And every track has a different story and different sound, different everything. So it truly came out to be what I wanted it to be. So I'm really proud of it in that aspect.
Right. So when does the EP actually drop? Pieces of Me. When does it fall, girl?
June 19th, Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday is the day.
Thursday's the day. Where can we find the album?
It's going to be on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, pretty much anywhere where you can download music. And I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm just anxious for the people to hear it.
Right. And what is this? I've been paying attention to your manager also mentioning that you're rising to the top over there in Africa. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Fall is on the Coca-Cola countdown on Vibe FM in South Africa, and I think 2 weeks ago it was at number 9, and which is a crazy jump because it had just got on the countdown and it jumped up to number 9, and now it's at number 6, so I'm really close to being in the top 5, and that is truly a blessing that they like the song so much, and they don't really even know who I am, but they love the song, and that means so much. I'm just so happy that people are responding well to my music and the lyrics, most importantly, because I think that's why people relate to me so much. I put out raw music, and that's what people want to hear, really.
Girl, I know. Girl, I'm just still. Dia said it today. She was listening to 2 of her favorite songs. Of course, Abandoned is one of them. But she was listening to it all day today, and I'm just like the entire thing. I don't know what to do, Lavina. I don't. I want to hug you. I want to shake you up. I want to put you in the box. I really don't. But I mean, I do appreciate what you're doing thus far. And girl, thank you. Just from a listener, not even a writer or a journalist or a music editor or music writer or producer. I just, as an individual, want to say thank you for listening to your heart and your gut, saying whatever else everybody has to say, forget about it. I'm going to do this in my time and put the best product out there. And thank you for that, for being who you are, the individual Gemini. Girl, them twins, we got to watch them. But for being you and just giving us a piece of you. And thank you for that, seriously.
Well, that's what I want. I want people to walk away with the sense of who I am and, most importantly, relate to me, because as I can't say it enough that I'm human just like everyone else, and I go through the same emotions, so it's important, and even I sometimes when I feel like I can relate to people, so it's a beautiful thing to have people relate to me as well.
And then, okay, you mentioned on all the places where they can find the album, but where can they find you when they want to get a hold of you?
I'm really always on my fan page. I update it constantly. I'm on Twitter at Lavina Lai. I even respond on Instagram. I'm really into getting in touch with my fans because I feel like I really want them to have a sense of who I am as a person, and I want to know the people that relate to me as well. So it's just interesting all around. I encourage people to be supportive and reach out, and don't be afraid to talk to me, I guess, because I don't bite. So,
girl, you sure? You're the emo queen. You might bite and like it. No, but it's LavinaLye.com, and that's LYE.com. For those who are new listening in tonight, just want to tell you guys, just in case, but she has been here several times before, and we thank her for that in her process of building up through this EP coming out on Thursday. But it's LavinaLye, LYE.com. Also on Instagram and Twitter, it's LavinaLye as well, correct?
Right, you got it.
Oh, what do you have to say? Because you're over there just quiet. You're in fandom right now, like I am. Really, I'm just extra hyped.
You are. I couldn't get that word in edgewise. I'm like, can I at least say hello? Can I say hello? I just want to say hello. Hi, Lavina. I just want to say hello. You know I love you. You know I love you.
I did not forget you. I know
you
you love Abandon as much as I love Abandon.
I got a number 2 though. Venom was up there. I was like, oh, wait a minute now. Let me wait. But see, look, I love the whole album, but it's just, you know how I am when I find an album where I can connect to every song, and actually, because I'm not a very emotional person, but it pulls those emotional ties. I'm like, yes, it's about time. Oh, it's about time. I love it. That's all I can say. I love it. I love you, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Keep doing what you're doing, and do we hear any concerts or tours coming anytime soon, or what's going on this Thursday? Are you having a release party? Tell us.
My release party is tomorrow, and I'm really, really extra excited about that because I get to meet the people that have been supporting me for almost 2 years or over 2 years already, so I'm really excited for that. And the press is coming out, the media, everything to meet me, and this is like a dream come true, really, because I feel like I've been waiting for this day since I was maybe 4. I always knew I wanted to do this, so now that it's finally playing out, it's a big deal to me. So I'm really excited for the release party. In August, I'm going on tour in South Africa for week or 3, and I'm getting ready for that. So there's a lot of great things in the work, and even before that, I plan on, doing some college tours, just a lot of shows in the city, just to get the EP out there and get as many people as I can to really listen to this, because I put so much of me into it, and I feel like it needs to be heard. So whatever I have to do to make that happen, I will do.
She's going to Africa, y'all. Do y'all hear this? Okay, I am more than can you package me up into your luggage and just say that it's extra heavy just because, but I want to go. Can I go?
It'd be fun. We'd have some girls' nights out.
Right in a safari. But okay, we do appreciate you for coming in, letting us know, and for allowing us to leak that single. For those who have not heard it, again, that is Lavina. This is Lavina Lai here with us at the Gumbo Cafe. Pieces of Me is now going to be available this Thursday everywhere you could think of. Pay attention to her because she's going to be doing some big things. I mean, she's also good as a journalist, not as just a singer, but I mean, there's so much she can do. She She writes music. She sings. She performs. She watch Lavina Lai. That's all I can tell you guys is watch her, because this young lady right here who has been with us at the Gumbo Cafe is a blessing for all of us through the music and entertainment, through her words. Continue to watch Lavina Lai, and that's lavinalai.com. On every place you can find her as well under Lavina Lai. Like she said, she talks to her fans. Baby, we appreciate you again, and I look forward for the album for everybody else to hear it, because I love seeing your story and watching you build and grow who you are as an individual and as a woman.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And, of course, no matter how far I go, I will always remember the beginning and everything and all the people who have always supported me. So it means a lot. It carries a lot of weight. And I want you guys to remember that.
Oh, don't make me shed a tear, boo. Don't do it.
Don't pull the mommy out of me. Dang it.
I'm saying, man, kick rock. Well, again, thank you, Lavina, for dropping by. You guys, remember, you heard it here first at the Gumbo Cafe. Check out Pieces of Me, the EP, dropping on Thursday. If you can stay, sweetie, we appreciate it. If not, we still understand, because we know you're busy, girl. We know you're busy.
Well, I mean, it would be great for me to stay. I would love to know what the topics are for tonight.
Uh-oh. Well, actually, if you stay around a little bit longer, and we're going to go ahead and put you on hold, bring you in every now and again, but we have an artist. He's an actual visual artist that's on the line tonight, and that's Addonis Parker out of Miami, Florida. So if you want to, Florida, now you know that was country. If you want to stay and listen for a little bit, we'll have you here on hold. You can listen in, and if you want to stick around, we'll keep you and pull you in and pull you out. How we do here.
I think that'd be cool. It'd be awesome.
Okay, love it. Well, you guys, again, lavinalai.com. We're going to go ahead and put her on hold and have her come back in every so often, just in case if she has questions, bring her in with the next person, you guys. I happen to be on Instagram. And, again, just to remind you, lavinalai.com. That's LEVINALYE.com. But I was on Instagram, and I was just talking about, I think it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was saying all this stuff, how difficult it is being up at night, and, a person who is an entrepreneur never sleeps. And this young brother said, you got that right. And then from there, the research lady, I'm like, who is this cat? He's on my Facebook page. He's also on Instagram. Who is he? How do I know him? And when I went to his page, I tell you, his artwork just floored me. I said, dear, we have to have this guy on the show. Every bit of work that he did, I was like, oh, my gosh, this man is awesome. How does he interpret this? And these are like big pieces. Did he study? Did he go to school? What did he do? Who is he? And we got him here, y'all. 347-202-0388 is the number to call in if you have any questions. But first, y'all, we got to bring in Mr. Addonis Parker. Addonis, sir, how you doing this evening?
Yes. Good evening.
Yes. Greetings. Yes. You know how I am. What's up, sir? What's been going on with you? Don't get nervous inside now.
No. Everything is all is well. All is well. Yep.
Right. Tell us a little bit about who you are and why. What is it that made me so? Well, I don't know what it is, but what is it that you put into your work that just draws people in?
First of all, I appreciate the introduction. It was beautiful. It was very respectful, and I honor that. As a friend and also a Facebook friend.
Right.
I want to say that I'm inspired by positive energy, first of all, and I'm a believer in Christ, and that's just that's the whole basis of my foundation. Describing my work, what I put in it, I I try to visually pour my soul into everything that I do, and I take my time. The actual focal points, whatever subject matter I do, it's mostly people, African figures, or it could be anybody. But I make sure I take my time and concentrate on the eyes, because the eyes, we all know, is the window of the soul, but I want to capture that emotion. If you look at a lot of my work, a lot of my, this guy asked me the other day, he said, Addonis, I look at your work, it's beautiful, but nobody's smiling. They're not angry, but it's just that moment in time I try to capture, because I want you to be a part of what they were feeling and what I created. So that's pretty much the standpoint of my work. I painted things that came to pass. I painted people that did not exist at one time and they exist now. So I think my talent is probably my speed and my eyes. The way I accomplish that in my work is the emotion in the eyes, because I keep hearing that. That's what I hear a lot. Is the eyes and how it draws people in. And in the colors, I use colors that clash. And I teach my kids here in Miami that the story behind that is you use colors that clash, but also look at it as a social standpoint, to where you got different cultures that may not get along. But if you use art in a therapeutic sense, is that that's how we get along. If you all mix, mingle, whatever, blend, next thing you know, you got your beautiful portrait. And I think that's how we should live our lives. Yeah.
Were you self-taught, or did you go to school? I know the answer, but just for those who are listening, how did you get started?
I got started when I grew up in Ohio, and that was kind of different for me. First of all, we stopped in Ashtabula, which is a small town near Lake Erie. And I used to watch, I don't know if you guys remember, Woody Woodpecker. Back then, they used to, when they did the storyboards, it was actual artists painting the background like murals, but the murals could be 20 feet because you wanted that figure to move in front of the background. So you had a guy doing trees like maybe about probably less than 20 to 30 feet. And that's how they would throw the character on the top. And I always, every time I would look at a cartoon or anything on TV, I wanted to mutate it. I wanted to change it. Or I felt, I don't know what was in me at that particular, I know what it is now. I think a lot of people know what it is now. But it was just something in me that I wanted to change. I wanted to make some figures African-American because I didn't see that, That was taken, so it was the biggest thing. I wanted to actually create something that I could relate to, that I could be proud of, like a black superhero or something. Because, Superman back then at the time, he was a top hero. They had the Marvel comics and everything. I used to try to collect those, and I traced those because Marvel comics, they dealt with a lot of anatomy, and that's how I taught myself anatomy. And, drawing trees and stuff. And I want to tell the artists out there who's ever listening that trees are very, very important. That if you ever want to do anatomy, draw a tree, because they have so many angles and bends. It'll teach you how to be loose and also get the structure down in a format for the human body. Yeah.
Wow, so a tree. So did you go to school at all to learn how to draw? Or?
Well, I knew I was born with something, but my mother, I think she caught it before I did, because I was always scribbling. She would give me stuff to keep me quiet in church because my dad was a minister. So I was practicing all the time. I would get in trouble in church and school because it was just something inside. I couldn't stop. Even when I would get my work done, I would, doodle, sketch, do all that, and it was just I still have that flame. The same flame that I had when I was a child, still there. I have to do something. I have to do something creative. And my motto is, art creates and never destroys. So anything that, and I look at God like that. I look at it that the biggest part about himself is creation, and I have a small piece of that, and he blessed me with a portion of that. And this is something that you can't be taught. There's so many great artists out there, but the artists that's on they supersede, the social standards and the industry, the art industry. The standards is the ones that, God, there's so many of them out there that's talented. And it gets heavy sometimes when I look at it. And I love admiring the artist's work because it inspires me. But the part about creation, about him, he saw fit that I was important enough for him to give me a piece of him, and that's how I see it. That's why I respect God to this day. And I understand now why I would see stuff. My dream, I tell people all the time, my dreams used to come in 3D. People would laugh. I dream with color, light. I could smell, sweat, all that in my dreams. I know that's crazy, but I don't want to scare too many people. But that's how I do it. I've been doing it for years, and that's how I'm able to reach from that. Go ahead.
I'm still like, wow. Every time I talk to you, I'm finding something new. Again, for those who do want to ask questions, the number is 347-202-0388. Did you also have something to say real quick?
Yeah, I had a question. I'm sorry, I was stuck on the fact that you said he dreams in 3D with all his sensations, because that's not scary. I actually do that too. I just don't talk about it much. But there is a statement that you made on your website that says, art to me is a form of extreme communication with God. And I just wanted you to elaborate on that extreme communion, not communication, communion. Could you just elaborate on the communion? Like, what are you feeling when you're doing a brushstroke? What are you getting, when you're actually seeing a vision in your head, and is it like an out-of-body experience? Like, what do you mean by is extreme communion with God?
That's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that question. That's pretty deep there. It's pretty heavy, and I said it, and I'm not saying it's deep, but darling, thank you for that question. She's crazy. When I start, first of all, when I get a canvas, it's the canvas actually is just a canvas. I don't care what size it is, but what I do, I will pick a color and I put a color on there. But the canvas, after I throw the color, the canvas is going to tell me what to paint. I don't know if that's weird. I don't sketch anything out. I don't have a format, but the color tells me what is going to go on that canvas. But the communion part is when I begin. I don't know what world I go into. I know God leads me because I know I've been there, because when I return to Addonis again, I know I've been somewhere. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah, I step into that realm, and it's like I don't care. It could be gunshots, fire burning, people getting car accidents, anything like that. I don't hear it, even though I hear it, but my soul is quiet, and it's connected. And then I don't care what I'm going through, during that day, if I'm depressed, happy, mad, sad, melancholy, whatever you want to call it, I release all of that. I'm on auto. Yeah, and I go there, and when I come back, I know it's different. It's almost like you taking a shower from a long day's work, and you get out of the shower, dry off. Your body's relaxed. That's how I feel when I'm done painting. I know that's crazy, but that's the only way I can explain it. But when I'm going through that, it's like it's a time to where I have control, but I don't. I know what I want to do, but it's been many strokes that I have to look back at myself and say I know I didn't do that. We're not talking about how Addonis paints, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but it's certain things that it strokes. Why did I do that? Why is her hair? It looks like her hair is off linear, but then later on down the line, I'll get someone to point that out and appreciate that, to where I thought it was a mistake. You understand? So it's small things like that. Say again?
I understand it's like a meditative state where you're there but you're not there. You're in control but you're not in control. It's like a meditative state when you start painting. I understand completely. Perfect.
Yeah, that's where I can put it, because it's almost like I can hear my surroundings but I don't hear them.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of, because when I heard this, I was like, you're joking, right? But where do you get your paint? Because, everybody has excuses like, I can't paint, I don't have the right material, I don't have the right brushes, and I need to. What do you do? Let these people know.
Okay, my thing is this. I've tried, actually, a lot of people don't even know this. I started with painting oils. Went to oils to watercolor, actually color pencil first, oils, watercolor, and I went to acrylic. I stayed with acrylic for a little bit, but it was by accident. I picked up what happened. I had a lady ordered. It was a 3-piece triptych, I think you call it. It was a 3-piece that 3 pieces that go together. It was for a bathroom. She had a nice sized bathroom, black and white. I ran out of acrylic. and I was actually teaching at Alapata Middle in Dade County Public Schools at the time. And the lady was from West Palm Beach, and she was coming to pick up the work, but I ran out of black. What I did, I went next door to the woodshop room, and it was black and white, perfect, but it was house paint. What I did, I painted over what I completed for her. I painted over the whole thing, but I noticed that when I put the fan on, it dried fast and it was thick. So I redid the design in white, in house paint, and it dried very, very nice. I put it on top of wax paper because, you know, when the paint, it may drip and drizzle because I painted, you know, the gallery wrap with the 3-inch sides, the paint rolls. I put it on wax paper so everything would be nice, but I stuck it on the fan, went back to teach my class. By the time the lady got there, it was completed. And from that point on, I said, wait a minute, okay, if black and white works, that means I could do colors. And a lot of people ask me, you know, Addonis, where do you come up with your skin tones? What I do, I know this is crazy, I may buy some real, I may buy some small colors of oil paint, if it's a color I'm trying to get to, or acrylic paint. I'll bring it back to the shop, put it on a palette, and I'll try to match it with my house paint. And that's how I get my skin tones. I've used blues, grays, oranges, and all type of things, you know, to come up with a nice popping flesh tone feel for, you know, because, you know, there's so many shades of us. We're so beautiful. There's so many shades. So, yeah.
Now, see, I just in case if y'all didn't hear it, who are listening, he uses house paint. You know the paint that when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, and it's called that oops paint because somebody ordered it and then they didn't want it. That's what he uses. And I when I hear that, I'm like, really? You could use house paint to do a piece of art? That's like the smartest thing ever.
Right. It's about application, too, because house paint is not easy to paint with. And I developed a technique through time to where it could not only be appreciated, but it could flow as oil. It's between oil and acrylic. You know, oil dries slow, acrylic dries fast, and house paint is in the middle. And it's an application of water. It's a technique that I've developed to where that I could make it look, feel, and not smell, but, you know, like oil paint. So, or acrylic. So,
and you just use a regular canvas canvas board to paint on.
Yes, anything. I used to build my canvases back in the day. I used to take door skin and take the 2x2 strips from Home Depot and build my own canvases out of wood. I used to do that back in the day. And then I took, I know it sounds crazy, but I would go to the fabric store and get the blue jean material or the canvas material. I would prime it, let it sit for a day, prime it again, sand it down until it's like a kind of like a thick and stretch the canvas to it's almost like you could take a quarter and bounce a quarter off it. So
wow,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm learning stuff myself right now, people. Wow, blue jean material.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so your inspiration because. Okay, go ahead, Diaz, because I'm going to get back to that one, too. Go ahead.
Yeah, before you go to inspiration, or maybe this might even lead into inspiration because I'll be totally honest. When Shani told me that your father was a pastor and that you was a Christian, I was totally shocked. And just because some of your paintings have a more of a tribal setting and have more of a adoration for the female form. And, of course, one of the favorite ones that I loved was Chocolate Candy and the Black Madonna, and and the Birth of Art. Those are three of my favorites, like right off the top of my head. And when she told me, I was like, what? Really? Yeah. So my question to you is, because I know when it comes to art, you know, art is very free. It's very, well, for lack of a better word, artistic. It's very free-flowing. Whatever spirit gives you is what you do. Yeah. But as far as your artwork and dealing with your faith, how do you balance that? Because I know at some times some people could come to you, you know, with a closed mind and say things not understanding your mindset when you painted the painting. So how do you deal with it?
Number one, it's the message. And we can talk about the birth of art. I don't know if you guys have that picture up, but I can explain that. Actually, every one of my pieces. And every painting I've done, there is something in there. It's three of the same thing. I don't care if it's earrings. I don't care if it's a sky or three birds. it's always three of something. And what it is, that's my signature to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. You know, that's my signature. I hide different things in my paintings, but it's always three of something. If you really look, you could find there's three of something, like the power of hair and prayer. You'll see three earrings that are visible. Excuse me. But back to your question about the female anatomy. Number one, this is about, let's dig a little deeper, because I'm glad you brought that point up. There are certain messages that I try to convey that only a woman can convey. There are certain messages that I paint that I know I'm not here to make people happy or, to push people into a silent protest. I'm here to paint what's inside Addonis to come out, And my thing is that with the female anatomy, getting back to that again, we're in a society to where that we are ashamed to be naked and nude. That is a form of not only disrespect, uncleanness, all that. But if you take it back a little further, they're like, oh, Addonis, don't go back to Africa. But you got to remember, we could take it to Adam and Eve. When they were at their purest point, they were what? Naked.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know they were naked until they sinned. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And our society thought that we should be ashamed of that. Even and you gotta understand. Moses talks about a woman that she needs to cover herself. That's the law. That's the Old Testament. That is true. My message is that me not exploiting women, but me showing if I show a breast, believe me, I don't show the other parts. I've done a few breasts in my time. I've done a couple nude poses that were very, very clean cut. But my message behind that, if we look at, let's say we'll take on the picture I just what is it? The art of
the birth of art.
Yeah, birth of art.
The birth of art. That's one of my favorites.
Okay, if you look at the lady, let me explain it. The two eyes in the back. Those eyes present me. The lady in the front she represents the birth. You'll see a mask. If you take the two drama masks that man has created, throughout the with the copy and paste, all that. You take the two drama masks that everybody knows about, and you fuse them, you'll get that face. You see that mask in front of her? Okay, which is theater, art, music, all that. If you fuse that, that's what's coming out. That's what's inside of me. The necklace she has on, that's the talent. She symbolizes is actually the whole embodiment of how that art was birthed through me, because she's a woman. It had to, not saying that there's a woman inside me, but the whole process about how Addonis has graduated. You follow me? And birth of art is me understanding where that art came from. My mom is an artist, and with the mask in the front, you got the you see her legs. They're at a certain angle, but if you don't see her feet. Everything that's at her feet is actually, the Bible says your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men. That's all intertwined in that. And the eyes behind that in the sky, which is, I know it's dark and it looks gloomy, but it has nothing to do with that. There's nothing evil, nothing sinister about it. It's just that was my interpretation about how I wanted to convey that message. Because of the birth thing, you have to have a woman or one man. You have to. She's the only thing on this planet that can deliver a message like that, and strong with the Afrocentric, the strength of a black woman, period.
But, yes. Well, I'm glad you explained that, because, every time you look at art, everybody can get something different. And when I saw the eyes behind it, I immediately said spirit. Spirit is behind its birthing, and its birthing, even though it's a physical mass, it's also spiritual form. And I looked at the plays because I'm into a lot of different meanings of symbology. And what hit me was the play of the blue and the red and the green, green being like the earthy color, red and blue being the two colors that come together to make purple, which is the color of royalty. That's how I saw it. I love that you interpreted it for me, because, when you see art, everybody looks at it and gets their own interpretation.
Right. You know what, Darwin, that's what it's supposed to be about until you talk to the artist, and you got to know where the artist he or she comes from, and where what motivated them, to get to that certain point to come up with a composition like that. That's very, very important. But like you said, it's important for me. I have a standard. There's certain things I will paint, certain things I won't paint. I've had, to be honest with you, I've been approached with every type of commission that you can think of. But it's the money. It sound good, and it felt good, and it will probably feel good to have. But it's just that the standards. I just because I have children, because of who I am, because I work with children, I have to. I'll pass. I'll starve to work another day. I'd rather not lose my self-respect and my dignity and who I am as a man. Because it's more important for me to stand up like a man and be a man in front of my sons than to appease another for a moment, and then that ruins me or ruins my career. Because initially I look at it, God sees it all. I'm not a perfect man, nobody is, but Christ. But I try to do and express myself the best way I can without. Sometimes I can yell without screaming. So you got people, you got 100 people. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish. Please finish.
You have 100 people out there protesting, screaming this and that. I can do one painting and change the whole community, And my motto with Art Forever Miami Inc. is we change the world through art, one block at a time. That's my motto. And whatever I think that is going to be inspiring, I look for that first, and I let God lead me. And I have to and I'm going to be honest with you, there are some paintings that I'm not saying I rushed, but I did not follow through. I always pray before I paint because I want to make sure that whoever gets it, whoever purchases it, it will bless their home. They will be inspired. Most people Go ahead. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. We're just taking in everything that you're saying because it's a lot, even with the African art that you do, is it something that you've always strived to do? Because I know you mentioned watching the Woody Woodpecker cartoons and stuff like that, and you wanted to interpret what you see in the mirror every day. But what is it about this era of African art? Because when I look at it, I do see a certain era of time where, and I even asked you on a separate phone call, I was like, what is it that you're looking at that says this is what I want to paint? Is it, National Geographic? What is it? What is it about that era that speaks loudly like 70s and 80s empowerment black people from the motherland?
I think the biggest thing, when I was coming up, I yearned for a black artist. I wanted to, because, with the European influence in our books, not to take away from those artists who were great artists, Michelangelo, Raphael, we can name all of them, Da Vinci, But I needed something that I could say that I needed proof that what I was doing, another African-American man, he accomplished that. We know about the Harlem Renaissance, but I wanted someone to, I've seen every type of work there is. I can name all the black artists, from here to, Albuquerque. But the artist that stuck out, his name was Charles White. And I want you to look at his work. He was in the, I think, late, was it 1930s, 40s? He was around that time. He was during the Harlem Renaissance, too. But Charles White, he really inspired me, his work. He inspired a lot of artists like Ernie Barnes. I was supposed to do a show with Ernie Barnes right before he passed. We were going to have a show with Ernie Barnes. He's the guy, if people don't know who Ernie Barnes is, he was a football player, but he actually painted the paintings that were on Good Times.
Right.
Sitcom. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that one. Okay.
Yeah, his name was Ernie Barnes. But you have so many artists that are influenced by him now. I see a lot of Ernie Barnes' technique with the elongated figures in their work, and they're really doing a great job with that, But
and what did I call it? I called it the glicky, and you said no, Shawnee, that's wrong. How do you say it?
You mean to copy a painting and put it on a canvas?
Right, but a lot of those people that copy him and they use that style and that form that they utilize, that his work was in Good Times. It's elongated bodies and the arms, exaggerated lips and the head and the big hair and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to look at it like this. He can influence, but then if they have their own style, There's so many great artists out there that have their own style now, but they use it. Believe me, he influenced them. You can see it in their work. It's a couple of them out there that I respect highly, you know. But then you got the ones that copy him page per page, color for color, step for step. But I think that, to me, to a certain extent, the creativity goes out the door, because I think he was in my opinion, you know, he was a pioneer. And I wanted to make sure that if I paint anything, whatever I had, I look like nobody else. My artwork will remind you of no one else, that you will always remember me. That's what I want. I don't care about the status, who's on TV, who's doing this, who's doing that. I want you, if you were in an art show or gallery and you've seen 1,000 paintings, that you know when you walk past Addonis Parker, and not trying to be big-headed or anything like that, or, you know, self-promoting. I just want you to feel, I want the person to go inside the world that I created, you know, and even for a moment, you know, and to step in and step out and say, wow. Because that's I don't care. You know, I can't say I don't care. It's important, for me how people perceive me. A lot of people, first time seeing my work, they were in question about it. My early work, I used to do a lot of collages. I used to do biblical, themes and stuff, and codes and secret images and stuff like that. But then, we all grow. We all mature in every type of facet and field that we're in. And it's about learning. It's about growth. It's about graduating and progression. So if you see my work now, God forbid, if you give me many days under the moon and see my work 20 years from now, you'll see a transformation. But it's like, back to answering your question, I love the 70s and the 60s. That was I was born in 72. I didn't get a chance to see, the protests and everything. But it's like I'm locked there. It's just like that's what my soul, it promotes. It pushes. Like Addonis, please have self-pride. And I see a lot of, and I made this comment before, and I have to do it tonight. I'm going to be quiet. I'm not saying a lot of African-American artists, but I noticed that quite a few African-American artists that are successful, and I'm not here to put names. I'm not here to desecrate their career or their work, but that I noticed that when they have a following of every culture, that the figures in their work are either distorted or they're abstract. It's not the strong black African man looking back at you from Kenya. It has to be something wrong with him. My thing is that I wanted every figure that I paint, black woman, white woman, black kid, whatever, I want you to know what you're looking at. I don't care if you don't know that individual. I wanted you to feel and see, and almost, with your spirit touch who I'm painting and why. If there's a tear, why is she crying? Is that happiness? I want you to feel it. That's my whole thing. That's my plight, in my work. It's about emotion. And that's why, so that's my whole thing behind it. That's my story. I just want you to feel what I feel. And when it comes out of me, I want it to go on you, and I want it to be a positive experience. And if you have any discrepancies or anything, just ask me. Some people in the past were offended until they asked me, and I told them, this is what I do, and this is why I did that, and that's why that cross is there, and that's why that lady is looking like that, So.
Right. Wow. Well, we had, I don't know if you had heard at the beginning of the show, but we had a young lady. She's also an artist, but in her own right through sound, which is Lavina Lai. And, Lavina, I wanted to know if you had any questions for Addonis while you're also on the line right now.
Well, I mean, he talked about a lot of his inspirations, so those questions are pretty much answered. It's just cool to see people out there in the world expressing themselves differently, so I would say that and give you your props in that area, definitely, for being original and being yourself and following your vision. And at the same time, I would just say, stay true to that, and, you're not here to please everybody, so follow your heart.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Wow. I mean, two powerful people on the line right now. Y'all don't know. I told you we're going to be doing stuff here at the Gumbo Cafe, and this is what we're doing. Now, Addonis, we know you have to go because I'm sure
Yes.
you're being inspired as we speak.
Yes.
But how can people get in touch with you?
Let's see here. art-forever-studios.org. I have a contact information on there. Also, my phone number. It's public. I'll give you my public. That's 786-294-4174. Or you can email me at addonisart@gmail.com with any questions, concerns, or possible commissions. I'm extremely busy now, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But I welcome this so much. This was beautiful tonight. We had a lot, like you said, you had some this young lady just got off and she spoke, very talented. I heard the tail end of what she was saying, but I was inspired. I think that's beautiful. And
yes.
I want to commend her because I know it's just like when everybody sleeps and just, like what we talked about, that wheel keeps running, keeps rolling. When everybody's sleeping, we're up thinking about the next idea, So,
right.
Yeah. So
right.
I'm just happy to be a part of your gumbo, and hopefully, like I said, I do want to come out there and eat some real gumbo,
Uh-oh, Lord, I got to get in the kitchen and cook some more, y'all. I don't mind. This is a tall dude. I got to make a big old pot to make sure he going to eat something right. I can't just send him back to Florida and he'll talk about Texas like they don't know what they're doing out there. No. So when you come, you will have a good old pot of gumbo. We're going to treat you right. We're going to go to a couple of art studios and you can discuss some more work, whatever you want to do when you get here. But maybe give a couple of classes because, to be in a room with you and to have people, especially the young children, learn how to continue the craft and be connected in that meditative state is very important because this is also a part, like I was saying before, legacy in the making. And when you have those tools to pass to the next generation, it's a wonderful thing to see and to be able to touch because, a lot of schools are cutting out the art programs. So, to have you here, to listen to you, to share the information, that's a blessing. And if anybody is in Florida who wants to take classes, how often do you do classes?
In Florida, right now I'm actually setting up a program now. My program should actually be getting set up for after school, in an area in Miami. So it's called Overtown. We're trying to get that off the ground now. I've been extremely busy with commissions and a lot of outside work and murals and all that, mural projects and stuff like that. So it's been kind of tough because it's just once somebody hires you for a commission, it's like you can't hire another artist to do your work because they're going to know it's not yours. So that's why this feels a little different. If we're doing construction, I can hire a hand or two. But art is funny. People want your style. People want who you are and your expression. So it's kind of hard. So I try not to spread myself too thin. It has nothing to do with the money. Time is more valuable for me, and just being a servant. That's the most important thing I think is to serve people or to be accessible to God to where He can use you as a positive tool. Art is just like the key to the door to what God wants me to do. I try to reach people, be positive, and love everybody. Even so, sometimes it's hard to forgive, but you got to practice what you preach. And I've through the grace of God, I've learned to let bygones be bygones and just continue to live in love because the more you use the weapon of love, that darkness and evil and all other stuff, racism and hate, it fades. But you got to keep that, you got to carry that with you, So that's my.
Right. And we seem to have a caller that has a question for you before you dip out of here and start painting. The area code 714-808. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Leslie. I'm calling from Anaheim, California.
Awesome, Leslie. How are you doing? You have a question for Addonis?
I do. I actually have two for Lavina.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I'm a great fan. I'm a big fan. I am a fan. And, no, your music doesn't sound like anybody else that's out right now. But, when you think of classic singers like, Aretha or Billie Holiday or Diana Ross, you think of certain images and feelings come to mind. And so, like, in 20 years from now, I want to know, like, what kind of feeling do you want us to get when we listen to your music in 20 years?
Okay, before you answer that, Lavina, before you answer, we do want to let Addonis head on out because he does have a couple other things he needs to do. But, Addonis, we do appreciate you for taking the time to be here with us at the Gumbo Cafe and continue drawing the way that you draw, and we'll be looking out for you and what you have in the future. And
also to Lavina, is her name Lavina?
Yes, Lavina.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I darling, your inspiration to all mankind. Continue to create and do not stop, and keep God in your heart, and just look forward. But you look forward, but don't forget ever what's behind you, where you came from.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So I'm here, I guess I have become a fan tonight. I'm going to look you up and do a little more research because that's what I do, and I love music, and I grew up in the church, so you already know what that is. But just continue to create, and I had a wonderful time tonight. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for your time and patience.
You too, Addonis. Thank you. We'll be looking for you again, sir.
Okay, lady. All right, Gumbo.
Gumbo, you have a good one. Okay, now, the young lady in Anaheim, you have a question for Lavina, if you don't mind repeating it. I know you mentioned about her being a form of Billie Holiday, or what inspires her. Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just kind of want to know what she wants her music to leave with us 20 years from now, like when we're listening back to her music today.
Well, I make music that is timeless, that I feel like no matter how many years pass, you're never going to forget the first person who broke your heart. You're never going to forget the dramatic things that you've gone through in your life. So I feel like my EP is going to be relevant, just like your favorite album that you listen to when you have a bad day or you need something to cheer you up. I think it's one of those things that will just kind of play on forever, and that's my hope. And I just want to continue to make music that is specifically that way, because so many people make music just to have a hit at the moment, but it's not gonna be remembered for the long run. So I just want to make music that's true to people and emotion and feeling.
Yeah, your EP is definitely one of those that you listen to on repeat after you break up with somebody to try to get through it.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's very, very expressive. I love it. When are you coming to the West Coast?
When the West Coast demands for me to be there.
Right?
So,
well, we need that to happen.
But, I mean, I'm definitely on the move and trying to make moves all over. Like I said, South Africa, that's something that I never would have dreamed of in years.
Awesome.
So it's crazy, and I definitely want to travel the world and spread my music all over. So as long as you guys keep listening and sharing my music, it will happen.
Well, I appreciate you and your music, and I look forward to seeing more of you.
And thank you for calling. I appreciate your support.
Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Have a good night as well. And we're going to go ahead and slip into the second half of the show. If you guys have not ever listened to the Gumbo Cafe, this is where we'll get down and dirty onto our real topics. We do appreciate you, Lavina, for being here with us, sitting in and enjoying the atmosphere and the ambiance here at the cafe. But the next half of the show is going to be about another topic. We'll just actually discuss it later. But, again, for those who listened in and wanted to hear Addonis as well, we appreciate him for being on the Gumbo Cafe. Be sure to look out for him and what he has to offer in the near future. Both of you guys are wonderful talent, and we do appreciate all that you guys do. But, yeah, both of you guys even talked about Africa and how that, how it inspires all of us. And, you're going over there, Lavina, for a tour, and I didn't know that. Congratulations on that. Right. And then with Addonis Adonis's artwork, how he's inspired by it, the Africana style, is a beautiful thing. But we also have another young man, and he's not coming in tonight, but he's actually inspired me. He's the first Kenyan rapper, and his name is GC. You guys can find him on Facebook or Twitter, or on Instagram, wherever you want to. It's GC Music. But since you guys talked about Africa, we're just going to go ahead and bring him in. The song, actually, during the second half of the show. If you could stick around, Lavina, we would love to have you here some more. And you guys who are listening, just continue to hold your seats, and we'll be right back.
And over with Shawnee and Dia at the Gumbo Cafe.
This is Lavina Live. Make sure you check out my new single titled Abandoned off of my upcoming EP titled Pieces of Me. I'm chilling with the ladies, Shawnee and Dia, at the Gumbo Cafe.
Hey! Tune in every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time to the Gumbo Cafe with your hosts, Shawnee Sanderson and Dia on Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to the Gumbo Cafe with your hosts, Shawnee Sanderson and Dia.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gumbo Cafe. Girl, I forgot I got my air conditioner on. It was getting hot up in this room. All that talent and art, oh, my gosh. I love it.
You know I'm in heaven. You didn't have somebody, you know I'm into paintings and dance, and, you know, with dance comes with music, and I'm just like, you done had an artist, you done brought Lavina Live back. I'm just floating on a memory. Yep, can't sing, but that's what I'm doing.
Did you say walking on the memory? You folks, I love you, dear. The number is, for those who wish to call in, 347-202-0388. 347-202-0388. Again, the first 15 minutes we had on the show, and she stayed a little bit for. She actually had to leave because they have a big project coming up tomorrow. And that was Lavina Live. That's LEVINALYE. You can find her at lavinalive.com and on all other social media networks under Lavina Live. Then we had Addonis Parker. Man, that artwork, too. Oh, gosh. You can find him at his website. Let me go. It's art-forever-studios.org. Or you could just type Addonis Parker. That's ADDONISPARKER, Addonis Parker. Both of them are people that you all need to look out for, because let me tell you, Jesus, girl, I'm just floored. I'm floored. I don't know what to say. I'm just overwhelmed. And then, of course, we played GC Starlight. That's GC Music. You can find him on YouTube. That's one of his songs. Kenya's first rapper. Go ahead, GC. We know who you are. We see you, boo. Go ahead. But, girl, it's so much. It's so much. Again, the number is 347-202-0388. Dear, what did you do over the weekend, since we didn't get to talk about that first half of the show?
Pretty much nothing. That's what I did over the weekend. Pretty much nothing. You know, I expected that, for Father's Day, he wanted me to cook and everything, but it turns out he didn't want to cook at all. He didn't even want his usual Italian. I was shocked. So I was like, hey, so we did pretty much nothing. Just, it was a rainy weekend, just laid around, relaxed, and that was pretty much when we was able to get out, we got out. When we wasn't, we just stayed, laid around and relaxed. What you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Girl, I don't even know. You know what? I vegged this weekend. I just was like, okay, this is a nice world we live in. let me just relax for a minute because there's too much going on. Y'all doing way too much. So I have to relax. But other than that, I really didn't pay attention to the news, so we don't really have any hot topics. But what we do have for the second half of the show is who are you and what are you bringing to the table? What lies beneath the weaves, makeup, clothes, shoes, handbags, lashes, car, home, job, and education. When you strip completely, girl, yes, I'm cutting deep. When you strip down completely naked, how long do you find yourself truly looking at you in the mirror? Do you just glance at yourself trying to run and hide from your scars and flaws? Why are you not able to force yourself to stand in front of the mirror and see every single thing about you? Who is the root of you before you square up with a partner? You like it?
I'm just like, wait, we got to break that down. You had too many questions. Wow. Wait a minute. I think, okay, I guess last week I cut you. This week you're trying to cut me? What the hell? Wait a minute.
I'm not trying to cut you. Girl, yeah, last week you really did. I got off the phone. Maybe that's why I vegged all weekend because from Tuesday on I was like, she cut me.
I cut me too.
Oh, goodness, sorry, I had to take a little sip here.
That is a good thing. I can't remember the beginning of the questions. I just remember the part where can you stand in the mirror and look at yourself fully naked? Wow, you know how many people, no matter what shape or form they're in, can't do that? Like literally stand, without the lies, just literally stand and accept their body for what it is. There's so many, they can't do that. Without saying, I need to work on this, I need to work on that, I need to work on this, work on that. Wow.
347-202-0388 is the call-in number if you guys have any questions for us, the number one. But now, maybe you guys will understand why we had the artist on who shows the complete nakedness of a female body when he does his art. Not fully, but still, it forces you, his artwork forces you to look at that picture for what it is. It's a naked woman standing there in front of me. So how many of us actually take that picture out of the way and stand in front of a mirror and see who we're staring at? Most times people glance. Mm-hmm. We do a quick glance, unless if it's something that we're so adamant and passionate about. Really, it's not a true passion, because the intent behind it is incorrect, false, which is how they came up with selfies. But, you look at YouTube and you see the videos that people are doing. Of course, you're going to see the person look more into the mirror and the work that they're doing rather than looking at you, the individual, eye to eye, because they're too focused on the wrong thing. They want it to be perfected in the wrong way with this makeup, and they're naming all these brands of makeup and how beautiful it is and how to cover up all these flaws and scars that they have. It's called concealing and shadows and highlights and all of that.
Wait a minute now. Now you cut me because I like makeup.
I wear makeup too. No, I wear makeup, but I glance at myself. I literally glance at myself, but seriously, how many of us sit there and complain about you? I have it. I also have meat moles, but a lot of black people have them. A lot of people talk about their freckles, or they don't really talk about them. They try to cover up their freckles. They try to cover up their meat moles. They try to cover up their eczema. I have eczema. I have bumps on my face.
Oh, do I? You get it too? Wow, so do I.
Yes, I do, but I sit there and look at them. I have this big tail mirror that I got from Sally Beauty Supply, and I literally just stare at myself in the mirror. I first look into my eyes, and then I look at the surroundings of my eyes and ask myself, what is this? Unarched eyebrows, because, sometimes Dia gets on me like, girl, you need to clean your eyebrows. But I look at all of that. I seriously look at the rolls on my body. How many people actually look at the rolls on their body when they get out the shower and look at that long mirror? Or do they just look at the mirror that's above the sink and not look at or pay attention to anything else?
So I look at my rolls. I'll be holding my breasts up and everything so I can make sure I can see all of the rolls. I look at my rolls. You know when you got big breasts, you got to sit there and you got to lift those things up with your hands like they 5-pound weights each, and just make sure you look underneath. Make sure when you got out the shower you wash good in between that skin fold. You know that skin fold. You got to make sure, and then you got to air it out. Yeah. I look at all the rolls, make sure ain't no molds growing where they should be growing. And when I say molds, I mean MOLDS, not MOLE, because you know mold grows where places where people don't pay attention to. So I wanted to make sure I'm getting every part nice and clean. Make sure there's no smells. Yes. Big girls got to do that. Big girls got to do that. For those big girls that don't know, getting them creases.
Yes, you have to get in them creases, but she's running away, so we're going to have to pull her back. Aside from looking at where you're dry and where you're not dry, do you honestly look at the mirror and say that this is beautiful?
Honestly, I do. I honestly do. But I have to say the thing that helped me the most was discovering the Venus statue. Once I discovered the Venus statue, it like gave so much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was always a fighter. You know, I'm always a rebel. Like, screw what society says, whatever, I'm going to be me, blah, blah, blah. But it gave me a new level of understanding of how and why to love my figure the way it is. You know, because it's sometimes, you know, sometimes we do need the outer thing, but for the most part, it's not like we need an outer physical thing that represents us. We need that understanding so we can internalize it and gain wisdom from it. So from understanding what the Venus statue meant, it gave me wisdom wisdom from it, and made me appreciate my body a whole lot more in the way that it is. You know, and for those who don't know the Venus statue is a statue of a female with basically coiled locks and a big belly and breasts that hang down to her belly button and thick thighs with cellulite and everything, and that was considered a goddess way, way, way back in the day. Like way, 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 way back in the day. And just from learning that and understanding that the goddess, it doesn't necessarily mean that there was a woman that they worship with that particular body type, but the symbolism was that represented abundance. A woman whose stomach was that big gave a lot of life. She knew how to cook. She was always happy. You know what I mean? She was jolly. It represented abundance. That's what the statue represented. So just in learning about that, helped me way back to just accept my body for the way that it was and accept my body for where it was going after I had children. So it just, you know, it just, short answer, yes, I do. The long answer, which I just explained, is the reason why I do.
347, I'm listening to you, and I'm taking it in, because you know I'm going to get even deeper. 347-202-0388 is the call-in number. Guys, press 1 at any time. If you do have questions, big shout-out to those who are in the chat room. Bebe Straight Flexing, Gigi Watt, and guest is 10251. And, of course, we also have Michael chilling in over there on the line. I know he's listening in. We see you both. We know that's you. You can't hide.
Hey, Michael.
I know where you live. Oh,
hey,
but
AGG.
Yes, I just mentioned who's all in the chat room. Bless her heart. When you strip down completely naked, how long do you find yourself truly looking at you in the mirror? Now, you know, Dia was talking about the external side of her, but and I'm sure that's where the first place a lot of us tend to, okay, well, I look at the mirror, I see what I got. You know, I like my booty. Why are you always looking at your booty? You got other parts of your body. Why? Look at the stretch marks. Look at the thighs. Look at your hips, the way, and like you said. Huh?
No, I was saying exactly. Keep going.
Yeah. If you're flat in some places, if you're round in some places, if you have overhang, you know, I call it my Dunlap. My upper Dunlap is bigger than the lower Dunlap. If you have hairs in strange places, do you look at all that? And then after you look at all that and you see who you are in the mirror, do you turn around and look into your eyes again? Or do you look away from your eyes and look down at the the part of your body that you love to flaunt. You know, for some women, they love flaunting their boobs. So instead of looking deep within their eyes, they'll look to their boobs. And my question to you then is, if that's what you're always trying to put out there, who is the person behind those boobs? Stop glancing, and what are you using that part of your body for? Is it to get other people's attention? Your body is telling you to look at me. Look at who you are as an individual. Who am I? So glance back up at your eyes. Sit there and look at yourself for 5 minutes, just in your eyes. And what do you hear? What do you see? Most times when you look in the mirror just in your eyes, you begin to cry. Natural reflex. 2 minutes, if you look at yourself in your eyes, you begin to cry. I'm not saying stare down and, oh, my gosh, I was just doing a stare contest with myself. No. Naturally, your eyes begin to water up and tear. It's because you have not tapped into who you are as an individual on the inside. Who's that little girl you're running away from? Who is that hurt and abused individual, young man, that you're running away from? That child, that inner being, that inner you, that soul, that spirit, whatever you want to call it, is crying because it wants to be heard from you. You protruding your boobs out to somebody else is not going to let that child be heard. 5 minutes, look into the mirror. It's okay to talk to yourself. I do it often. Dia does it often, too. But look in the mirror, ask yourself the first question, what's wrong? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel the urge to cry?
There you go.
Why am I hurting? What am I running from? Then you stop and you listen, and then this is how powerful the mind works when you look at your eyes and you begin to speak and ask questions. The mind will reflect back to that moment when that little child was first abused. The mind will revert back to when that child was first abandoned. That inner you was first abandoned, and it'll start to see things. It'll play things like a movie, and you'll see that it hurts to just steadily look into that mirror, but you continue to look at it, and you ask yourself to continue to talk to me, show me what's going on. At this point, after 5 minutes of you looking in your eyes, you have now become part of that meditative state. Again, there's a reason why all this stuff happens on the Gumbo Cafe. You begin to be in that meditative state, and you have to listen and pay attention to the sights, the smells, the taste, all those things that hurt you. And this is the beginning of tearing back. If you start crying some more and they're heavy tears, go ahead and cry some more. It's those years of peeling back the lies that you told yourself with the Mac and the CoverGirl and the Remy. That's that first layer. It's the years of Gucci and Prada and Louis falling off of you, because now you're being one with body, mind, and spirit. See what I said, your mind is connecting to the eyes, or the windows to the soul, and you are speaking what needs to come out so that spirit can be connected to that vessel that you are renting for the time that you are here. And you listen, and it's going to hurt, and you're still going to cry, but all these shields and all this other stuff is coming out, because now, for once, you're allowing this child to be free. And when you allow the child to be free, you begin healing. Once you finally get to that point or that root or that issue that has really just been hiding back there for so long, you see yourself gravitate towards that child and hug it, which is your inner child. Hug it, love it, tell tell that child, if it's a boy or a girl, that I love you. While you're saying that, you're looking in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. I love who I am. I love the child who was hurting on the inside. I'm sorry that I was not there. This older me of you was not there to protect you, but all will be well. I know it's hard to forget and forgive those people, but I am here for you. I am embracing you. You and I are now one.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Go ahead.
Just said that. I want to get back to the looking in the mirror thing and how you said how your eyes start to tear up. The reason why your eyes start to tear up is because, like the artist said on the show, Addonis, the eyes are the window to the soul. So when you stare in the mirror, you're staring at your own soul. Excuse me. And you can lie to everybody around you. You can look in the eye and lie to them, depending on how far gone you are. But when you look in the mirror, staring at the reflection of your own soul, you cannot lie to yourself. Your soul will eventually begin to weep, which makes your eyes tears just to be heard. Because a lot of times we're so far gone, we're not connected to our soul. And this is where you get the idea of the vampire looking in the mirror and they don't see a reflection. It's because it's so far gone for their soul, they can't see it. That's one of the symbolisms. But when you look in the mirror, and you look into your eyes of your own soul, your soul will always, first of all, weep to be heard. It will make itself known and it will make the pain known. Now, in the weeping, as your eyes are tearing up, because of course when you're crying, your eyes are blurry, but as your eyes start to blur, your third eye or your subconscious mind, or whatever you want to call it, depending on your spirituality, starts to open up. And that's where, and I'm just explaining it a little bit more in detail what Shani said, that's where the visions of where all the hurt came from. First we'll start with the most recent hurt, but then, like she said, you ask the question, why? And in my spiritual counseling, and of course one of the main things that I get flack for is asking why. Why is the most important question you can ever ask yourself, because you cannot get to the root of anything without asking why. Who, what, where, when is fine, but until you get to the why, you haven't even touched the surface. So as you're doing that, and your eyes are tearing up, and you're starting to see visions of your ex-boyfriend and how he hurt you, and you start to ask why, your soul is not going to show you him. Your soul is going to show you why you chose him and why you chose to stay with him in the form of something that happened before. And when you ask why to that situation, your soul is going to show you exactly what happened before then that attached to this situation that puts you in lack, because, again, it goes to lack, that made you attached to this person. And then your soul is going to show you what happened before then that puts you in a consciousness thinking that this is all you deserve when your soul wanted so much more, but your logic said this is all you deserve. It's going to put you in that place, and it's going to put you in another place, and it's going to put you back into the root, as she said, as a little girl, as a child, of where it all started at. And by then you'll be weeping and you'll be having snot coming down your nose and all that, and that's your body's physical release of the emotional stress and your soul's outcry for all these years that you've been holding on to. And if you keep going through it, eventually you'll be able to look into yourself. And this is not, I don't want anybody to get mistaken and think they're going to go in tonight, look in the mirror, and after tonight they cry for about 2 or 3 hours and they're done the rest of their life. No. This is a process. It's going to take a while. You know, you may be able to do 2 or 3 hours tonight. And think about it. If it took you years to get in this, don't expect to have a release in 2 or 3 hours. Don't expect to have a chakra cleansing or a Reiki healing session, and expect to be over it. That gives you momentary, temporary. But until the mind is renewed, until the mind is healed, the logical mind, which will allow the subconscious mind to come over, which will allow the emotional mind or the emotional feelings to take a sit back and relax, until that happens, you will keep going through the same thing over and over again. And this is also one of the things I do in my spiritual counseling when people ask for spells and crazy stuff like that for things that's actually a mental issue. Excuse me. So when you do all that, eventually you may start only be able to look at yourself for 30 seconds, but then it'll be a minute, and it'll be 2 minutes. And once you get to 5 minutes, if you can get to 5 minutes and look at yourself and love every part of you, you're good. That may take from a day to 16, 20 years. But once you get to that part, you're good. But there's always going to be something. And when that something comes up, you'll be able to tell yourself that's a lie. That's a lie. Why is it a lie? Keyword, why. And you go right back to it. And all the other stuff, you be like, because I let go of this. I let go of this. Just because such did this doesn't mean that's a symptom or a sign that they're going to be the same person that originally hurt me way back when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 14, 15, 16. You'll be able to let that go. And that's why I thought, what you said was so important. And you said something else that I can't remember right at the end.
I said you now connect to that inner child, and the two of you are now one.
No. That's it.
Oh, girl, right now I'm being connected to something else. I'm sorry. You got to catch me when I'm near.
My brain is connected to something else, too. But as far as the two of you being one, now that inner child no longer needs to be a child. It now gets to grow up. So now your spiritual and your emotional body can catch up to your physical body, and now you're now one. And now you're not walking around as a spiritual or mental defective. Now you're walking around fully whole, and you're able to connect to the I am who is there, the love, that's the word. You're able to love yourself. Love, I say all the time, according to etymology, means nothing but will and desire. So now you desire yourself. Now you have a will or an action for yourself. And when you have love for yourself or a will and desire for yourself, there's nothing outside of you that you will allow to do you harm because you desire yourself first. I know a lot of times through dogma, we've been taught that putting yourself first is wrong and we need to humble and all this other stuff. But if you actually pay attention through the prophets, they put their self first. That's how they were able to do what they do. If you look at, and I'm not going to say about Muhammad or Buddha, none of them, because I relate to Jesus more. So when you put Jesus knew when to step back and go into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. He knew when to step back before he was killed, when he went to go pray or do whatever, I can't remember off the head exactly what he was doing, when the disciples were doing else. He knew to separate himself. He knew himself enough to know when to give and when to sit back and say, hold, I need to recharge. And this is taught throughout the Bible. When you know yourself, you know when to give because you're giving from your abundance, and you know when your abundance is about to be cut off and that you have to refill so you have more abundance, so you know when to stop. Most people are never even taught to give from their abundance. And the only way you can give from your abundance is to desire yourself and will yourself first. Then when you desire yourself and will yourself first, only then can you see the lack in others, and you can just pour a little bit to help them refill the glass themselves. The key word, a little bit, because if you fill the glass all the way for them, then that's you and them and not their own spirit. You give them just a little bit, a taste, just a little bit of getting by for them to start refilling their own self and finding the water themselves. You're not supposed to do the whole thing.
She's going too far because we're dealing with self right now.
I know. But dealing with self and dealing with self, you're supposed to will and desire yourself first. And the reason I brought the other part is most people ignore themselves to pour into somebody else. As opposed
we don't
to
even want to put that out there.
So you can clearly see everything around you. Not everybody, not just people. I'm just clearly see everything around you so you know what needs to go and what can stay. But go ahead.
Right, yeah. Don't want to go too far because right now, tonight is about who are you. And Dia does have an excellent point, and we probably will do that part of it at another show. But we got 2 callers here. We're going to go ahead and pull in the first one. And just in case, because we probably will go into overtime, the number is 347-202-0388. Press the number 1. You guys have 27 minutes to call in. First caller, your number is 314-224. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Greetings, Dinah and Shania, right?
Dia and Shani. It's okay.
Dina, I'm sorry. Okay, I haven't heard you all in a while. This is Sybil Gaia.
Oh, yes. Hey, Sybil.
I heard the other one going, okay. I typed in, I said, I hope I can make it because I had to deal with some other things, which is has a lot to deal with what you all are talking about, and this must be my night. You know, this was my night to call. I mean, I haven't talked to you all since my son called you all first.
Right.
He called me because he's a poet, right? And he's a poet, and he does rap, and so he got me in on your show, and then that's when we became friends. And I've been watching you all, and I'm sure you guys been watching me. So,
girl, you were looking fine the other night on the full moon. You was looking beautiful.
Oh, you all saw me. Okay, so the thing is that when I was doing that, I basically was going through a transitioning, and it's been coming for a long time. And I don't really want to get into self, but I do want to talk about when you talk about looking at yourself in the mirror, right?
Right.
And I looked at myself in the mirror right before I called. I ain't gonna spend all night crying because there's no need to cry. There is no need to cry. I'm a seasoned woman, and when I say seasoned, I'm a little older. I may not look it or I may not sound like that, but there is an inner child in me as well. But the thing is that when I look at myself, and you have to think about when I talk about my spiritual name, Gaia, I am the Earth Mother.
Yes.
So, and that's how I portray my body. I portray my body in everything that lives, whether it be bird, animal, plant, dirt. And when I look at my body, when I see the stripes where I bore a child, those are tiger stripes. When I see the veins popping up in my legs, those are the veins of a plant. When I see my hair getting stringy, those are like the roots of the trees. When I see my heart building, in a way where I just have to give life in other ways, this is how I look at my body.
Wow.
I don't look at it as, I got a wrinkle here and shoot, I got like fat pockets all in the belly, because I haven't worked out. But I don't need that. I don't need it. Because I'm happy. I finally got happy with myself. And this was part of the transitioning that I just went through. Wow,
that's beautiful.
It's difficult because I did have to cry at that moment because I was letting go of something. But I was and I was running away from something, but I was running to something at the same time. I was running away from something, but I was running to myself.
Now,
because I had lost myself, so to speak.
Oh, okay. See, I'm glad you cleared that up because I was like, can you explain that one? But okay, so you're running back to you in which you had abandoned for some time.
Yes.
Okay, and that makes sense.
Yeah. So what? The other thing that I wanted to talk about, because Sister Girl was just going, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna keep up with her. I'm gonna keep up with her. So I'm trying to collect some other things that you said, but I can't be.
It's okay.
That's what you get for smoking too much weed. And so,
girl,
y'all
heard her. She said she's Mother Earth. So what comes from the earth, she gonna take it.
That's right. I was sitting here. Just like, I don't know if you all seen. I was getting ready to post some pictures up. Because people need to start growing their own food. Really, for real. It's a real thing, and the people out here are trying to stop people from doing that now. They're trying to stop you from catching your own rainwater.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, who are they? Who are they to really, tell you what you can do and what you cannot do when it was the mother that gave us all of this? You don't have the right to take what was already ours.
Exactly. And, there's some stuff that's going along with farmers as well. They're trying to because I live here in the country, and it's some things.
I remember.
Yeah, and some things they're telling us if we sell produce or if we give produce away, they have to come in and examine the soil, examine the water, and everything else that we're putting into our crops. And it's like, why do you guys have to examine that? This comes from the earth. We got the seed from a reputable store, and we just want to help our neighbors, our brothers and sisters. And now you're telling me you guys have to come in and control what we're planting?
Let me back you up just a little bit. Are they asking Monsanto?
They ain't really asking me because we still giving groceries away.
But are they asking Monsanto? You know what I'm saying?
They're not asking. They're not asking. It's just to put a block
they're
on
the ones out
small
there
farmers.
Genetically modifying everything. They've got wheat that grows in one country that's supposed to die every year, and they're supposed to replant it. The stuff doesn't die.
No. It's supposed to continue growing, and it spreads in the field just like grass. That's what wheat is.
There's something that they planted, and it was supposed to die every year, but it keeps coming back, and so it's genetically modified. Come back. So they've rearranged the DNA in the seed.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, none of the seeds that we get now are actually from the original source. A lot of it is genetically modified, unless if you get heritage seeds. Heritage seeds, yeah, those are the ones that have not been spliced and diced and everything else and injected with all kind of other stuff. But if those who do want to have a garden, and Ms. Sybil Gaia does have a garden, she grows sage. I mean, they grow everything at their crib. But
I have a community garden as well.
Right.
Besides at my home, but that's where I grow most of my vegetables and stuff at, because I have a lot of space here, but I don't want to take advantage of it because it's really not my property. So I do little things here, but I just want to get back on saying that this was my night to call because I was really vibing on everything that you were saying, and I was just like, man, if I could just make notes, and I didn't. I just sat here and listened, I was like, I'm not going to keep up with her. Okay, what do I get back to next? And so, but I'm just so elated to be in your company and be in the grace of your company, and myself being in the grace of your company. So
yes, we do appreciate your presence here, and also what I'll do is I'll give you the link because after the show is over, you can go back and listen to it and download it. So just in case if you have other questions after you hear the replay. You know where to find Dia and I because we're always online some kind of place.
Yeah, I do want to add one other thing, and that is that I'm getting a little personal here, but the thing that I was running away from was a situation that I was in, and it became unbearable to the point where I ran away from it. And I ran away from them because it wasn't in me to tolerate the what I want to say, what was going on in this area, but I had to change everything and take control of everything because it was almost like they snatched everything away from me that I was.
Wow.
And I should not have allowed that. And so, on that note, I am back in full force.
Right.
I am not allowing these people to take away what it was that I had because when I had that, I was like the most, just almost as big as Ra and the sun. As big as Ra the sun, and I shine so bright and everybody could always see that every time they saw me, and this person took that away. And so I had to get it all back.
And it's it's a blessing that you're learning that and getting back to the root of you. And that's also a part of life. It doesn't matter how old we are. We do have to sometimes go through those trials and get back to the root of what's on the inside of us and connecting back to that oneness that we're supposed to be. So, you know, I commend you for finding that and seeing that that's where you needed to be currently. Yeah.
And I had did a moon dance, right? On Friday the 13th. And I videotaped myself doing it. And I put it up on my timeline, but when I went to the homepage, it was on the homepage because I thought it was just going to be on my timeline. And so this is how, you know, Facebook try to trick you. So I was like, well, I want people to come to my page and see it. I just don't want it, you know. And then somebody will say, well, hey, you know, you should go see Sybil Gaia, man. She's really putting on a beautiful moon dance tonight.
Okay.
So I took it down.
Oh, man.
I took it down, and I was like, maybe I'll have enough nerve to put it back up there.
Yes,
you know?
please do, because now I want to see it. Yes.
I mean, because
I
I had been all on this this beautiful energy that the moon was sharing, and then 2 days later, my third eye opened up and showed me some things, that I didn't like. But and it was deep, and my third eye been open ever since that, because I woke up this morning with this dream vision, and I'm not sure if it's correct or not, but it told me that I should let go of Facebook and everything like it.
It might be true that you need to just reconnect back to the earth. I mean, sometimes we have to do that and take those breaks.
Yeah. But I'm one of those people that need to connect with people and not on this Facebook level.
Right.
I have to be in the presence of people. Because I have to be able to feel the energy.
Exactly. You know what? That's something else you touched on. Hold on. We have another caller, too. But I'm going to put a pin on what you just said. You have to feel their energy when you're, But I'm going to keep your line open, and we have Miss Gigi here. And those who do want to call in, the number is, again, 347-202-0388. You guys have 13 minutes to call in before we go into overtime. But Miss Gigi Watt, welcome to the Gumbo Cafe, sister.
Hello, how are you guys?
Gigi.
All right, how are you doing?
I am loving this conversation. I want to tell you this. I looked in the mirror a lot when I was younger, but after I had my first child, I tried to put on my little size 0 mini skirt. I sat in the closet and cried for like 2 hours. I'm not sure if that's the same thing, but I was not happy. Like now I'm over it. I'm getting older. I do work out and I run a lot. Running is my meditation. I run with my music on, podcasts and things like that. But and I'm not as good as I used to be. I can't run every day like I used to be. I've kind of slowed down, but that's my meditation. But so I like to look at what is in the mirror and not what society deems as perfect, because my mother was like an African woman. We saw breast and her butt. My mother stayed naked 90% of the time, and I probably torture my children the same way for kids, but because if it's hot, I'm just saying. But I mean, it's not something I would be ashamed of at all in my mind. But I can understand where you guys are coming from, that someone would be ashamed of their body.
Yeah, that's just the external part. That's the first layer that most people are ashamed of. Yeah, that's the one
the
side.
The external always leads to something. The external shame always leads to something deeper. So first you look at the external shame, and you start, doing the plastic surgery game, picking apart, what could be done and what could be redone. But then, as I said, you start actually asking yourself, why do you think you need to change this? Why do you have this thought? Why do you keep having recurrent thoughts? It goes into something deeper that's internal, and it goes into something more emotional and spiritual and stuff that you have blocked out, that you haven't healed from. So it's an external part first, but it always ends up connecting to something deeper. Whether it's even if you go into, society says my body should look like this, it still goes into why did you buy into what society said your body should look like that. That's something internal. And then it'll keep going to something, and maybe you was teased as a child. It may have said you will never be loved like this. It may have said you was too dark, too fat, too skinny, too tall, too short, breast too big, breast too small, whatever. It still goes to something internal that you have to heal from. It starts external, but it still always go back to the inner person, to inner things that you blocked out, that you even still operate off of, even though you blocked it out, that you need to evaluate and revisit so that you can fully heal and move on as a person.
I'm going to use an example, and then we're going to bring in this other caller. 347, again, 202-0388, 10 minutes before you call in. But prime example was, I always tried to, because I was a girl that had the big boobs, so I was the one that always tried to protrude those things and let everybody see them until I began to do some searching. It was something, a book that a Yana Van Zandt had wrote. And she also talked about the mirror concept. Actually, she talked about the hot bath concept, and you sit in a steaming hot shower. But I have to ask myself, why am I always trying to show off my curves, the Coke bottle shape? If you guys see any pictures of me, I very rarely show my body now, unless if I'm, truly interested in somebody. But what it was, when I got down to the core of it, the core was I was called Fatty Four Eyes. I was the last one always being picked in any kind of sports because I was so fat. Just because I was fat, nobody wanted to choose me. The other was, you keep eating like this, you'll be as big as a house. All of these things that I heard, and it was like, well, okay, if I cover those up and I just showed or accentuate the exterior, people are going to like me. Bull crap. First of all, I have to get to the root of it, and the root of it is I'm really not as big as a house.
Yeah.
These were just hurtful things that people said. I'm not always the last one. If they tell me I'm the last one chosen, so what? I could be the first of whatever I choose to do.
Yeah.
So that's an example of what it is when you get to the root and you embrace that little fatty four-eyed girl because she was so precious. You embrace her and you love her and you begin to grow and build into being you, who you are desired and need to be. You guys hear guys, joke around and they always talking about fat girls. I sure am. I'm eating a sandwich right now. You want some? I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
That's not gonna faze me none. I'm shaking you off like oil on the feather and water on a duck's back. Baby, you ain't fazing me. I've grown into who I am, and that's the example that we want to make sure all the other young ladies get to that root of you and know why you're running. And like Sybil said, she knew why she was running, and I knew why I was running and trying to accentuate the external because I figured the external was going to define me. My cities, I know now, they falling down. They weren't going to stay up perky unless if I bought a bra or two and put some socks in there. That's not the purpose of them anyway. That's just external.
I just feel like the bigger you are, the bigger your spirit is.
Baby, you got to say that.
But can I say something real quick, you guys? I don't know if you can hear me.
What was that, Gigi?
Here's something funny for you guys. I was skinny, so I've hungered, and I didn't fit anything. I didn't have shape. I had the opposite problem, like flaca in Spanish. That's why Rob around me and says, you sure they call me flaca my whole year, skinny like that to this day. But for a woman, for you to be skinny, no line, and no breasts, there was something wrong with you. You need to eat. If you get it both ways, trust me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
and
you get it both ways.
They don't eat because they think you're tired and hungry. But I can take you out. Well, let's go to a eat out bar together. I will put you out. I like to eat.
I know you. I'll eat you. I'll eat us. And Gigi, you know we love you to death, but girl, you and your phone.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Y'all making me hungry. I'm finna make some shrimp.
Ooh, baby, we coming over while you playing.
Yes, I'm not playing. I am. I've been waiting to eat all day.
Okay, we coming over then. But yeah, Gigi, you're right. It's both sides. We see there. It's both sides of the spectrum, and you're right. There's other girls that deal with it the other side. They're saying, "Oh, you're flat as a board, girl. You need to sit here and eat something," or "Oh, are you a boy? You look like a tomboy." We hear it all, but still, you have to go back and embrace that individual that's inside of you, that little child, and all that other stuff those people are saying. It ain't gonna faze you. You know, you continue to love who you are, and you build and grow. And like Sybil was saying earlier, she shined brighter than Ra. She shined brighter than the sun.
And now that's back to that.
Right. And that's how we end up being. And we also have another caller here. I don't know all these 313s and 319s and stuff like that. Y'all up north, I'm loving y'all. But 313-629, what is your name and where you calling from?
My name's Jay. I'm calling from Detroit.
Hey, Detroit.
Okay.
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm loving you ladies tonight. I'm loving you ladies. There's nothing more beautiful, sexy, and wonderful than a confident woman, a woman who loves herself. And men go through the same thing. Men have to understand who they are, love themselves, and that shows when you really do love yourself. Love is birthed out of knowledge, so once you get full knowledge of yourself, you can love yourself. Most people walking around, they don't even know who they are, so they don't love themselves. So it's a problem. But I remember growing up, I used to get teased about my lips. I had full lips. Used to get teased about them. Called me. I used to swim real good, so they used to say, "Well, Jay only reason Jay can swim good because his lips so big, he's floating on top of the water."
Wow.
But now my lips, I get compliments from women about my lips all the time. But it took me to realize there's nothing wrong with my lips. There's something wrong with them, the people that talked about them. It wasn't until then and me embracing my lips. I never got compliments until I embraced my lips.
Yes.
I never got compliments until I embraced those things which people pointed out were bad about me. I embraced them myself, and that's when the confidence came, and that's when compliments from women came.
It begins to draw more people to you because you know who you are, you love who you are, and let's just call it the law of attraction. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Right. It's the law of attraction, and when you attract, you're attracted to you. You attract other people to the same confidence or the same, like you say. You sound like you got some good old juicy, sexy lips.
Thank you.
But before we hold on just a second, before we go into overtime, you guys got 2 minutes to call in 347-202-0388, 347-202-0388. 2 minutes to call in. And yes, sir, continue with what you were about to say.
I want to admit, I want to say that who wouldn't love some big cougar? I'm not getting it right.
Girl,
you know where I'm trying to go. Bombi lips, man. I'm telling you, ain't nothing like it. And I got big lips too. And I'm a light-skinned girl, and I had a problem with that too.
Did you?
Yes, I did. You know,
wow.
I didn't understand it. You know, people would say things about me. You know, why I had big lips. You know, and I was like, well, they couldn't be so far from the truth. But you know, and then I got chastised for my color of my skin because I was light-skinned, and I was chastised by a member of the family, was told that I was no good because I was light-skinned.
Wow. I had a lady that worked with me. Her name was Miss Moon. Miss Moon was not the most attractive woman, but why I found her attractive, she didn't have attractive features, but what I found attractive was her confidence. The way Miss Moon walked, the way she walked, she commanded the room. Everybody turned to her. So one day, I hope y'all don't find this offensive. One day she walked in, and I stopped. I said, Miss Moon, you walk in here like your stuff is good. And she said, her response was, I know my stuff is good. And I said, how do you know? She said, because it feels good to me when I walk. And that shut the whole thing down.
I
had to go out with this woman after she said that. And not for any sexual thing, it was the confidence that she had.
And then, too, you wanted to see if it was true. Boy, quit playing.
No. Actually, me and her are cool to this day. We went out twice. Nothing else behind that. I love this woman to death. We never had nothing sexual. Nothing happened.
Okay.
The woman is like one of my best friends.
Wow.
And but it was her confidence. It was her loving herself that just ooh. It was just something about that. It's something about a woman, not no kid, not no. I don't want no 20-year-old. I'm 47. I don't want no 20-year-old girl. I like women that's in their 40s that know who they are. That's classy. You don't have to show me everything about you, but know who you are.
Yeah, leave something for the American.
Love yourself.
That's true. You have to learn to love yourself, and then when you learn to love yourself, you will be able to attract, again, that law of attraction. We are now into overtime real quick for those who are on the line. Thank you guys for staying here with us. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. How long is this break? It's about 6 minutes, so if you guys want to get yourself some water, because in Miss Sybil over there making some shrimp scampi or something. I'm driving right now.
You got a long country drive, girl.
A girl, But we're going to take a quick break, about a 6-minute break. You guys stick around if you can, and we'll be right back.
Are you an author looking for answers about publishing your first book? A veteran author who has been used in the publishing industry but wish to connect with your peers? Feeling left out? Now there's a place where you can feel at home and have all the information you need in getting started with publishing and finding useful information. Authors Info is a network website designed for the publishing industry. Meet readers, authors, publishers, designers, and more at Authors Info, a business site for the publishing industry. Authors Info is your author and publishing information home, in the confines of your home or on the go. Check out the website at www.authorsinfo.com. Again, www.authorsinfo.com. Please sign up today.
About to make a change in your life but not sure which direction to take? Looking for a new job and not sure if this is the one? Feeling a bit confused about who you are? Visit AuriesOasis.com for your oracle readings, astrological analysis, and much more. Here you will find an understanding of you with the assistance of Dia through spiritual channeling, oracle readings, or your natal chart. That's AuriesOasis.com. ORISOASIS.com for your astrological readings, channeling, oracle readings, and much more. AuriesOasis.com, making spirituality practical.
Big Bailey Entertainment and Hot 107.3 Jams presents The All White Affair, featuring the live performance by Jagged Edge, hosted by Shani Scott of Hot 107.3 Jams, Saturday, June 28th at KE Bushman, 1565 FM 2493 East, Bullard, Texas. For VIP tables or ticket info, call 903-283-5873 or 903-258-0775. Performing live, Jagged Edge. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show starts at 8 p.m. See you there. Ticket outlets are located in Longview at Mike CDs and Records, in Tyler at Mass Connection Barbershop, D&E and Groceries, and Precision College Cuts. Also in Henderson at C&M Entertainment. Pre-sale tickets are $30. Reserved seat is available. Once again, Jagged Edge.
Man, I've been playing around these streets so long. I know my girl think I'll never be ready. But I'ma do all I can to let her know I'm ready. 'Cause really, she is worth it.
From now on, I'm taking all the calls. From now on, I won't get lost at all. My time is running out, I know. And right now, I'm just trying to restore her hope in me. Clearly, somebody done hurt her, and I just wanna be the one who stands between anyone that don't do right. I'll be there like every night, trying to make these new streets alive. Yeah, love when she sees me, she can see all the love that I'm feeling, all this love. All I wanna do is came up with this little plan, put her home back in a man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gumbo Cafe. I had to turn the AC off. I'm sorry if you heard that breeze in the background. Dia, what's going on, girl? You over there chilling? You know, I have to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the time. I was over here eating chips and dips.
Let's open up these lines again. We got Miss Sybil. How you doing over there? You in the kitchen yet? Because I told Dia in the inbox I'm ready.
Yes, I'm in here doing my thing.
See there. And then we got Gigi over there chilling over there in the Carolinas. Gigi, you still with us, boo?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am. I'm here.
Okay, we got you here too. And then Brother Jay, I think that's who we had in the 313 Detroit areas. What's up, Jay? How you doing, sir?
Terrific, ladies, terrific.
Awesome, love it. And of course, we have Bebe over there chilling as well. Thank you guys for staying with us in the overtime. We do appreciate it so much for being here with us at the Gumbo Cafe. Before the break, the commercial break, we were talking about being true to yourself and having confidence. What are some of the things that you guys use as confident builders? And I guess we'll start with Dia. Dia, what do you use as confident builders?
I just use. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sybil. Go ahead.
Oh, I just use myself as a confident builder because I think when people see me or meet me, they pretty much know who I am, and if they don't know who I am, then they will soon find out. I mean, the thing is that I'm just one of those people that emanate a beautiful. The beautiful energy,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look around at this earth, and you see how beautiful it is, that's who I am.
Right.
And I get that all the time, I can't go back to how I felt. And I was just thinking about that. I felt worse about myself when I was younger.
Mm.
My body, I did. And when I got older, I felt better about it.
Wow. That's a good thing. I think it does take experience in life and realizing that who you are, this is the vessel that I'm going to be in, and this is a life that's being dealt with me daily, and I'm going with it daily, and I know how to accept it when you get past a certain age. But I think from the time we're 15 through 30-something, we're still trying to prove who we are to the world incorrectly. So, with age, we do get better like a bottle of fine wine. And cheers to those who are taking
And I feel like, when you're trying to, like I'm just going to say it, when I was like 12, No, I was younger than that because I started blossoming at 8. So I think right before 8, I was pretending that I had those boobs, So I was like, wanting to have all those things, and then when I got like about 21, I started thinking, well, you know what? You don't want to grow up too fast, girl. So, because in due time, all those things will just show themselves, and then you'll be in the glory of your bounty.
Right.
And there's so many women out there that just don't understand that, you just wait. And I was so busy just trying to show it all, or pretend I had it all. and so, but as I got older, like I said, when my body just started forming and stuff, I think I look better now than I was when I was a teenager.
Uh-oh. Go ahead with your bad.
I'm a little bit on the skinny side, because I went through a sickness in March where I was put on a medication because I have a rare eye condition. Mm-hmm. And I was put on a medication that severely dehydrated me, made me lose weight, and kept me sick to my about 3 weeks after I started taking it. And I started losing the weight, and I went from 126 pounds to 114 pounds within those 3 weeks. And I haven't been able to gain the weight back, but I feel great. I don't feel like I'm really myself yet. you know, because I just don't feel that fullness in my face. But, you know, like I said, it was because of the medication, you know, that took me there. So for anybody that's out there listening, please try and do everything holistically if you can. Don't let these doctors fill you full of this kind of stuff, because that ain't nothing but a business for them.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm here to tell you, you know, in the flesh, just try to do whatever you can holistically for yourself, because that stuff, I felt like I was dying, and I looked like I was dying.
But you look good now. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, we saw the pictures of you the other day, and I was like, go ahead with your bad self. Working it. And then, what do you use, too, as a confidence builder?
Well, for me, you know, I have to say my anger. I use my anger as a confidence builder. And, you know, just naturally, I get pissed off really fast about stuff. But I have learned over the years how to use it for my good and not to my detriment. So when society told me at an early age that I was, quote-unquote, not pretty according to standards, I immediately just got angry and said, well, screw society. I'm going to start looking for other things, because I feel as though their standard of pretty was bullshit. So, I mean, this is at an early age, again, according to my anger. So I started studying other tribes and other people's way of living, and got exposed to different things, and found out that my standard of beauty is still a standard. It's one of many, but it's still a standard of beauty, and that there are many different standards of beauty according to the culture and the customs. So with that also, he was saying, you know, as far as women in confidence, one day, and this is a quick story, one day I was at school. Well, with my dad being in the military, he always told me to stand up straight, have correct posture, you know, that shows confidence, that shows that you're serious, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, as a girl, 9 years old, and you're starting to bud, and nobody else around you is budding, you're not exactly so confident. You know, you're at school, you're playing jump rope, and your breasts hurt because your mom hasn't bought you a bra yet, because your mom doesn't realize you need a bra, even though you're trying to tell her you need one. You know, that's painful for a little girl. So at one point, I remember one day I just got really pissed. You know, we just got finished gym, and we was playing dodgeball, and of course I got hit a couple of times in the chest because I wasn't paying attention. I was in a daydream. So I wasn't paying attention, got hit in the chest a couple times, so I was just like totally pissed. And now it's like, screw it. And I was at the point where I was so pissed off, I was just about to take off my shirt, and I ain't had no bra on and walk around butt naked. That's how pissed off I was. And it was this girl who was in the 8th grade, and she was bigger than me, and she was bigger than all the girls in her class. And she stood so erect. Like, she stood so, like, she was proud of her breasts. Her back was perfectly arched, and her head was held high, and I was having to look at her. And I remember when I looked at her, she looked at me. And she instantly knew why I was looking at her, because she looked at me and said 3 words, actually. You do the same. 8th grader. Told me you do the same. And from that day on, you know, I started arching my back and holding my head high, and was proud of my breasts, whether my mom bought me the bra or not, because it wasn't until 10 she actually bought me a bra. So I went, you know, whatever. But, you know, I arched my back tall, and I became proud of myself. And anybody said anything, my anger automatically took over and go, screw you, because one day you're going to want this. And when I realized it, I started speaking this stuff into my life. And I always say, screw you, because one day you're going to want this. Talk of that trash now, but you're only talking that trash because you don't know how to handle this or get with this. Like, my anger always took over. So the one main thing that I always had, which always brought stuff to me, which a lot of people might like to understand, because I always tell me to calm down and I'm too angry, blah, blah. But the one thing that's always brought me confidence in my life was anger, and using it, not the negative way, but using it the correct way, internalizing it and using it to verbally express myself in a manner which can be communicated without violence, and having that bring things towards me that was for my betterment. So my anger is one of always things that helped me bring confidence in anything that I do. Like, Shiny can even test it now. When stuff start going crazy, I'm like, man, F this. We about to do this. No, I'm pissed off. This is how it's about to be down. This is how it's about to be done, period. So, it's always been my anger that, to me, brought me confidence.
Can I ask you a question about your
Sure.
anger? Do you have any advice for anybody that is dealing with anger problems right now, and how to channel it and to channel it in the right way and not the negative way?
Yes. The first thing I would have to say is your anger is you, not them. They don't know your triggers. You do.
Mm-hmm.
So your anger is you, not them. And in knowing that this is your trigger, you know this is something that you need to work on, or it's something you need to act on. Because most people really get angry on stuff that they need to act on, that they're too scared to act on, that they see other people acting on, or acting on in a way where they don't feel as though they can act on it themselves. So the first thing is to know that your anger is your trigger, you, not them. They don't know that's your trigger. They're just naturally being them, but something in them triggered you. Recognize that first. Once you're able to recognize that, you're able to go back to the root of that trigger and find out why you're being pulled. And when you start studying energy, especially start dealing with planetary alignments and astrology, you understand that Mars is the planet of basically anger or war, and love or sex. It's all the same energy. So you have to learn how to wield it to your benefit. Okay. In doing that, when you get angry, the first thing you need to do is recognize the emotion, but don't act on it.
Okay.
And it says that in the Bible too. It's okay to be angry. It's not okay to act on it. I'm summarizing the way it says it. So recognize the emotion, but think before you act. Meaning think, okay, I'm angry. I'm angry because this person said this, and it triggered something. Keyword, triggered something in me. Why did it trigger this in me? What do I need to work on in this in me? Okay, this person pissed me off because I'm supposed to be doing this and I'm not doing it, and they're doing it, and they're recognizing that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So therefore, I do not direct my anger towards them. I direct my anger and all that energy into what I'm supposed to do to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I
so
understand
those
that.
Okay, that's about that.
Yeah, I was asking that for someone else, that has a problem with it. So, thank you for sharing that.
Now, the other thing is that a lot of anger comes from unhealed, resolved issues in my past.
Girl.
I would say up until I was 17. A lot of my issues with men came from my anger with my father. Of course, nothing new there, no new story. But once I recognized that, I was able to ask for forgiveness for myself, because you can't forgive nobody. It doesn't matter how many times somebody forgives you. If you don't forgive yourself first, what they say means nothing. So you have to forgive yourself first. For allowing yourself to hold on to one situation for 16, 15, 5, 10, however many years you held on to it. They did it to you one time. You replayed it in your mind the rest of the time and allowed yourself to get more angry and more angry and more angry without even letting that person know. That person might not even know they crossed you in that way, because a lot of times we don't really tell people our intimate and most personal details of our life and emotions. So that's, one, recognizing where it came from. And then forgiving yourself for holding on to it. Then forgiving yourself for holding on to it so long. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. Forgiving yourself is the hardest thing you will ever do. Somebody else forgiving you, easy. Asking somebody else forgiving you, easy. Because even when you ask for it, even if they said, I forgive you, unless you forgive yourself, it means nothing. So forgiving yourself is the hardest thing you will have to do, but you have to do it. Now, once you forgive yourself, then it doesn't matter whether the person gives you forgiveness or not. It doesn't matter, because you already forgave yourself, and you understand that it's their choice and their walk and how far they're into their own work, whether they're willing to forgive you or not.
And
so
that
at that point,
part of the healing process too. For someone.
It can be, but idealistically you want it to be, but realistically, more than likely you're not going to get the I forgive you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? More than likely you're not going to get from the other person realistically, depending on where they are, more than likely you're not going to get the I'm sorry that I hurt you. More than likely you're going to hear, oh, that happened years ago. You need to move on from that.
Oh, yeah.
So unless you forgive yourself, none of that will affect you. So when you forgive yourself, if someone goes, you need to heal for that, move on, you'll realize that's their walk, and they're not ready to walk down that road, but you're okay because you forgave yourself, so you're not worried about them, and you're able to move on.
Okay.
Now, once you're able to do that and you're able to...
No, I'm just saying, y'all, I'm glad this is not a recorded show because I'm back here stripping. It's hot. I done told Dia some questions in the inbox. I'm trying to turn on the air. It's burning up, y'all. I'm sorry I had to say that. But
it's hot here too, sister.
It's the same. Yeah, it's just hot here in Texas right now, but I'm living with it, and I have to forgive myself for doing what I'm doing now. But Gigi, how do you build confidence within yourself?
What I do personally, can you hear this in the background? I hope not. What I do...
Yeah, we can hear that in the background.
Okay. Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What I do for confidence is I really love Donna Summers. And that's my theme song. I have a theme song like Shaq. And it sounds really weird and kooky and strange. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can also hear something in the background. I don't know what that is in the background.
Yeah, me either. I apologize, guys.
Well, okay.
Is it I can't hear you.
It probably is. It probably is.
It goes on in my head and in my mind throughout the day that's positive. When I deal with anyone, from the person at the gas station to the person that I spend every day with, that keeps me upbeat and confident in my daily activities.
That sounds wonderful.
Awesome. So it's music that keeps you going and builds that confidence. And with Jay, since I don't know if he has seen my inbox, sir, what is it that you do for the guys who are listening? What do you do to build confidence within?
I take self-inventory of myself. What I'm saying is I think about where I was growing up and what the man I've become and the father I've become. And I know you line me up against 10 other guys, I'm going to be better than 9 of them, automatic, right off the rip. And the growth is what gives me confidence. Understanding where I was, understanding the odds that were against me, understanding all those things, all the obstacles I had in front of me, and to make it to where I'm at right now, that's what gives me confidence.
Wow. Wow. I mean, so many insightful ways to find out and build what you need to have inside of you. Jay, first, let me ask you, because we know how Sybil found us and we know how Gigi found us, but how did you find us here at the Gumbo Cafe?
I was just going through Blog Talk and I saw the Gumbo Cafe and I said, let me give this a listen. And I was just listening to you ladies. I wasn't going to chime in at all. I was just listening to you ladies.
Okay, you thought we was going to share some recipes and stuff. This is recipes for life, really.
No.
You all can hear mine going. I am building the sauce with a little bit of olive oil and some butter and garlic.
I am going there in my birthday suit. After I get off this phone, I am driving. I don't care what you say.
Well, remind me what to get you the next time I see you then.
Okay, it's probably a bra. I'm just saying.
No, she didn't.
Hey, I clown myself off there. Well, I clown myself off. But, Jay, we do appreciate you for being on here with us tonight because, you know, it's always good to hear a man's point of view and what females need to look for when they're dealing with growth. And it sounds like you have grown and matured into who you need to be, but there's also still learning in the process along the way in life. And even with Sybil, you know, she's our elder, and we look up to our elders. And to hear her side of the story, we appreciate her fondness and being open and sharing what she shares. through her knowledge. Yes, no, thank you, and many blessings to you.
Yeah.
And it's appreciated. You know, this is all of this is what Gumbo is all about. The Gumbo Cafe. We're mixing in everything so that in the end, the community will look and be better and grow better and be something more than what TV tells us we need to be, what radio tells us we need to be. And Gigi, of course, girl, we love having you on. You know, we love your support, even though your computer is hacked over there right now. But we love having you on as well because you also give an insight to the sexual aspect of life. And all of this, if you really paid attention, if any of you guys go back and listen to the beginning of the show and open up your eye, as Sybil said, the third eye, and see the true meaning of what the show was about tonight, the message is we can get back to our roots. Be it if you look on just the external, our Africana style, or our knowledge of religion and faith and belief, we can get back to the roots as long as we meditate, utilize the sounds, the music, you know, the songs that let us tap into what the earth is trying to tell us, whatever you believe in or worship is trying to tell you, so that you can paint the broader picture and spectrum of life so that we can all build and grow and pass down this knowledge to the next generation. Y'all see how I pulled that all together? But if you listen to the beginning of the show,
we pass down this knowledge all together, even with naked girls. So.
Hey, I'm halfway. I'm like the pictures that Addonis was drawing, but not as perky. But in order to build confidence and be a stronger civilization, and in order to be a stronger you, I just want to say this. You know, we all go. Some of us go to church on Sundays, and we're looking for the Savior to save us. Okay, we get that. But can't nobody save you. Can't no deity save you until you first begin to deal with who you are on the inside.
Yeah.
Once you save you, then you are able to allow your light to shine and build a community that is stronger than ever before. It could be your interpretation through art. It can be your interpretation through dance. It could be through music or sound. It could be through sex. But all of us have a purpose. And, I mean, that full moon that we had on Friday the 13th is something huger than you guys could ever imagine.
Oh, man, you like don't know how the energy called me that night.
Right.
I built a fire.
Mm-hmm. And you still built a fire.
I was out there dancing under the moonlight with my dogs.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, we still feel the fire if we focus on what's going on in with us. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, it seems like it's chaotic, but that chaotic feeling or that, right now, we're having inboxes going left and right while we're on the show. Mm-hmm. But if we hone into the purpose that we need to hone into, that chaos isn't going to be an issue. And I'll just break it down into real plain.
Yeah.
If you hone into who you are as an individual, that job isn't going to be an issue. That relationship isn't going to be an issue. Your children aren't going to be an issue. Stop running away from what it is you're running away and get back to the root of you. And when you get back to the root of you, you begin to heal. It doesn't just stop at 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. It does take years to get there. Yes, but once you get there, you are able to allow that light to shine, and it should not be placed under a mattress. Y'all know where I went to with the Bible that quick. Your light should not be snuffed out under a basket.
I heard you.
You should stop wallowing in the mud and continue to move forward. And that's ultimately what the focus was for the show tonight. Like I said, I'm having hot flashes, y'all. We're going to have to cut it short. But before we do, Dia, how can people get in touch with you? For y'all who didn't hear the commercial, that was her commercial. I love you, girl. I did that for you. You're welcome. But how can we get in touch with you, Dia?
You can get You can get in touch with me at Ori Oasis, ORIOASIS, on all social media sites. Just, look up that name. If you want a reading, astrological reading, be it a personality analysis where we look at your personality, how you interact with others to your benefit, whether it be a relationship analysis where we look at how you interact in relationships and how things truly mean to you, or if you even truly want a long-term relationship or you just want to be free and happy, you can look at that. If you want a financial analysis where we look at how you interact with wealth and money and how you bring it to you, or how you can bring it to you, or if you need to keep it, or whatever's going on. If you want just a regular, oracle reading, just to see what's going on with your life and tap into whoever wants to come into you and talk to you. Whoever wants to come, into the reading and talk to you. You can find me at Oris Oasis, ORISOASIS.com for all your spiritual needs. Again, that's Oris Oasis, where we're always making spirituality practical.
Making spirituality practical. And Sister Gaia, how can people get in touch with you? Are you still doing the smudge sticks? Are you still selling the sage bundles?
I am. I'm growing the sage right now, trying to get it built back up because I fell off during the winter, and I didn't get everything planted in time. So I'm going to get it all back, and hopefully I'll be able to get a few out there if I have someone that wants them. You can get it in touch with me at Sybil Gaia on Facebook. My email address is Goddess Gaia, Sybil Gaia. People call me Gaia or Gaia. Goddess Gaia at goddessgaia23@yahoo.com.
Awesomeness. And then Gigi, I don't know if your phone over there tripping or your computer over there is still tripping, but if you could say something to us, boo. We got you. We're right here with you.
I will attempt. There is some sort of chanting going on in the background, so you guys forgive me. I guess I have my own background music.
Okay.
You guys can find me in Sex Let's Make It Better Open Forum. Just Google Gigi Watt or Sex Let's Make It Better, and you'll find me there. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, too, Boo, again. Yes, and then for those, I'm saying, she said she had music. She likes music. And she got chanting going on, girl. You don't even know what you connected to. Quit playing. But you can also find her here at Woman Radio on Thursday night. It's Sex Let's Make It Better, which is her show with her and WFMB. Of course, they are here on Thursday evenings. I think that's at 10 o'clock Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. But if not, just tune in to Women's Radio, and you guys could always find us. And, of course, you can find me here at Tuesday nights with the Gumbo Cafe with, of course, my lovely co-host, Dia. Hey, boo.
Dia.
You can also find me at, oh, Lord, I'm sweating. You guys can also find me at mayhousepress.com, or you can find me at Simplistic Truth, which is coming up, or Authors Info, for those who are interested in publishing their books. So that's authorsinfo.com, mayhousepress.com. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, it's maylodi@yahoo.com. That's also my Twitter handle, maylodi@yahoo.com. And if you guys have questions for either Dia and myself here at the Gumbo Cafe, it's the Gumbo Cafe @gmail.com or on Twitter at the Gumbo Cafe. So we do appreciate Lavina Live for stepping in for the first 15 minutes and staying a little bit longer, and also Addonis Parker. You know, you guys support the artists out there. They're doing it because this is where their heart is. It's to share a part of themselves and give a piece of them, be it in a meditative state or whatever state it is. Actually, you know what? I think all of them are in meditative states when they're performing and singing, but that's another story. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Mm-hmm.
Is it archived?
Yes, it will be archived. So we will have the show, and I'll inbox you the link after the show is complete and send it over there to you. Big ups to Bebe for tuning in as well, and a couple of other callers who stayed in. after the show, but we do appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully the air in the room will be much cooler. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
You're welcome. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Thank you. We out.
Mm-hmm.